Hello, Quanta folks. Jodie from Quanta Mama, and I wanted to share my top 5 tips for having an amazing birth. These are all strategies that I use for my 4 births, and they work. They work actually beyond just the birth. They work into parenting, into how you communicate within your relationship and operate within your family and your community. They are skills for life, and birth, luckily, gives us a great opportunity to practice them and use them. So, my number one tip, as you'll probably find with anyone if you've been following any birth information, is using breath. Breath is an incredibly potent and powerful tool that we all possess that I think sometimes we lose connection with. So using breath in birth is around having a really structured and practiced approach to breathing during your labor, during your surges, and then using some intentional breath for birthing your baby as well, which is a slightly different one. So to start with, the breath that you're going to use during your labor, so for each time you have a contraction, a wave, a surge, whatever you want to call it, is essentially this elongated breath where you breathe out longer when you breathe in. Now, a couple of really helpful tips and tricks with this is to breathe in and out through your nose. At the very least, breathe in through your nose. There's a couple of reasons for that. We tend to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. When we breathe in through our mouth, we tend to breathe up the top of our lungs. When we breathe in through the nose, we breathe in through the lower lobes of our lungs, which are the nice wide parts down here and often don't get a lot of action. So we're going to give them some action. So breathing in through the nose, and just when you start this stuff, just start by breathing a little bit more intentionally and start stretching out both the in-breath and the out-breath. So it might be that if this is new for you, you might start by breathing into a count of 3 or 4, and then breathing out to a count of, say, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever you can find comfortable. But just start that breath nice and slowly, and if it's easier for you, start in the out breath. There's various ways that you can use this breath in different positions. And so when you're practicing this breath of slowly breathing in to, say, a count of 4 and breathing out to a count of 8, which you're going to be using during your contractions, your waves, your surges, again, whatever word you want, you're going to find that if you can practice this in different positions, particularly as you get more and more affected by the baby's size pressing on your diaphragm and your other respiratory muscles, then when it comes to that day in the future when you're birthing your baby, you'll find that it's far more available because you've created the muscle memory of that breath. So you can do this standing up, you can do this on your knees, you can do it holding onto a chair, you can do this holding on to your beloved and connecting in even more so. That's tip number 1, is using your breath. Tip number 2 for having an amazing birth is about positioning. And you'll find that when you're actually practicing breath, you naturally start finding different ways to do that breath. And as a consequence, you change your position. Now, one of the things that can happen during labor is that can have this stuckness if we're not moving around, or more so if we are lying on our back in a very managed labor. So being upright, being forward, perhaps on a ball, and so giving yourself that opportunity to move your baby off a lot of the areas that can impede you and create a lot of energy usage. So using the gravity to work with you, being upright, moving around, finding some steps to climb up on, and again, move your pelvis so that you help shake this baby down to their exit mode. And so as you keep finding places to practice your breath, you'll also find positions that you can use in labor that help create not only comfort, but sometimes they actually reduce the intensity of the labor simply by being in more advantageous positions. So practicing before you get to that day in the future, as you start putting your dance steps together, you can use your breath at the same time as using positioning and starting to really play around what feels nice for you. Okay, my number 3 tip for having an amazing birth, and something that I definitely did, is one of these guys. You can't actually have this one, obviously. I've already used him, so he's actually second hand, fourth hand now. but having an amazing partner that you get to practice with, not just the practicing of the breathing, or whether it's touch, like the light touch massage we talk about in High Vibe Birth, but also just what your hopes and dreams and expectations are. How do you like showing up in birth?
Well, jump on what you said about the practice, because that leads to the connection. And then when you're in that birthing space, you're prepared, because it works with your partner, where your partner likes to be touched, how they like to be held, and the words that they like to hear.
Absolutely. And it fits in really nicely with the next one, which we're going to talk about, which is about visualization or affirmation. So really creating a rich picture for the birth you want. But for now, you can go. See ya. Tip number 4 is all about your mindset, your headspace, where that is at for moving into this birth. And as we discussed in High Vibe Birth, as you'll discuss in Birth Immersion, if you come and join us at the Bellarine Birth Sanctuary, we will talk all about ways that you can shift your mindset. And there are so many ways that can address that. And I really like the ways that we can do mindset shifts that support our way of learning. So thinking about, how do you want to learn? Do you learn by reading? Do you learn by listening? Do you learn by watching? Do you learn by doing? And so thinking about how that mindset shift can happen, you can find different ways to access the change that you want to create for yourselves. So noticing how you're feeling about this upcoming birth, and then thinking about, all right, what can I use as a way to shift my mindset or support myself so that I actually walk into this birth not just feeling prepared, but feeling really excited. And why not? Because you're only going to birth this baby once. So really giving it the mindset that you want for an incredible birth is where it's at. So some of the ways that I love mindset shifts are things like using affirmations. Affirmations are so powerful, and having a birth partner that is connected in with the birth preparation and has familiarity with your birth affirmations can be so potent. One of the things that I found when I was in labour was that when McGill said my affirmations to me during that birth experience, when I was deep in labour land, the words came back so powerfully. I actually heard them in my own voice. And so this is one of those leap of faith things where you might feel a little bit silly while you're practicing, but when you get to your labour, into your birth cave, birthing this baby in deeply unconscious space, those words will have a new level of potency for you. Some of the other things that we include in High Vibe Birth and Birth Immersion are things like meditations, which are created very intentionally. They give you an opportunity to practice your beautiful, slow, intentional breathing, and also start visualizing the birth that you want for yourself, or using visualization as a way to access a really serene picture in your mind that creates a real comfort and ease for you. One of the other things I absolutely love are mind movies. I think that subconscious mind change or mindset shifts don't have to take a long time. We can do them in a really fast way and still have a really potent experience. So mind movies I describe as like visual meditations, and you'll find them on the Quantum Mama website, and they're available for expectant mums, expectant dads. And when you watch a mind movie, which is only around, say, 2 minutes a day, you'll find that it will start shifting how you feel about this upcoming birth. And so the idea is that you're going to watch it for, say, a minimum of 28 days to create that mindset shift. You're most suggestible when you first wake up or when you're going to bed and your brain waves have moved into a very supportive place of either moving into rest or coming out of rest in the morning. So using the Quantum Mama mind movies when you first wake or when you're going to bed is a really effective way to maximise the impact for those mindset shifts as well. There are many more ways that we can talk about that, and when you join us for the birth immersion, we can explore ways to help your mindset shift. But starting out with affirmations, meditations, and mind movies is a great place to start. Number 5 for my top 5 tips for having an amazing birth is get your house in order post-birth. Work out where your support is coming from. Think about ways that you can resource yourself so that we don't just get stuck on just the birth experience, but we look beyond it. The reality is that the birth experience is the launch pad to parenting 24/7, and it can come as a real shock if we haven't given it a lot of thought. So some of the ways that I have loved supporting myself, and I've done this, is I've utilised placenta encapsulation. I know it's not for everyone, but if you are at all drawn to it, then definitely look into it. Optimal Birth Recovery offers placenta encapsulation to Melbourne and Geelong expectant mamas, and there are other placenta encapsulation specialists that are dotted around, probably in your area, so do look into it. Now, the other things that we have done is we've created things like meals, and we pop them in the freezer, but looking at nutrient-rich meals, ones that include, say, bone broth, so slow-cooked bones, whatever animal you choose, and creating meals out of that, whether that's soup, or you have a straight bone broth as a way to just build up the nutrients in your body. You're looking at essentially rebuilding yourself after having a marathon experience. And your marathon might be a sprint, it might be a slow jog, it might be a walk that goes for a couple of days. However that birth marathon unfolds for you, your body is still doing the work of bringing this baby earthside. And so as a consequence, we need to offer it a lot of replenishment of the minerals and all the other elements that are for healthy building blocks in our body. Ensuring you have some support at home, whether that's family, whether that is a postpartum doula. There are some amazing services out there that offer meal support, cleaning around the house, or sometimes just someone cuddling your baby while you would go and get some much needed rest. Finding out about breastfeeding, there are amazing lactation consultants out there beyond what you might find in the usual institutions. And they can offer you, I think, an insight into how you can build your connection with your baby once they're in your arms in an even more intense fashion that just brings parenting to life and changes how things go for you. And other than that, obviously having family support with your partner, letting little siblings know if they've got a little baby brother or sister on the way, all those beautiful preparatory things where you can talk about that with your family, about what life is going to look like on the other side, and really gifting yourself that nourishing postpartum period that in Western civilization we don't seem to prioritise in a way that does actually help the mother. And when we help the mother, we help the family. So they're my top 5 tips. We've got breathing, positioning, partner, your mindset, and the postpartum. And with those 5 going for you, you will have the most incredible birth experience on your terms in a way that just enriches you for decades to come. If you're interested in learning more, get in touch with us at Quantum Mama, reply here, and we'll look forward to connecting with you and helping you bring the birth you want